The first thing that I learned in class is something we said often as a mantra, and sometimes with kind of a smirk on our faces, and that is follow the policy. That's something that luckily as a teacher I haven't encountered very much. Policy hasn't really been a part of my day-to-day, but I know that as an administrator, particularly when it comes to matters involving personnel, that I will need to have some things about the policies on file in my head ready to use at any time. And I also know that I'll need to be able to access it quickly and refer to it. Looking at the policy as we did in our last class session made me aware of things having to do with timing for grievances or for other personnel hearings that I didn't realize had such strict and delineated timelines. So that's something that I will definitely take away and tuck away for a day that I need it. The other thing that it made me realize is that I need to make sure, if I'm an administrator, that at any year, every school year, that everyone on the faculty knows how to access the policy, and be that the school board policy or school-specific policies. The second area of takeaways from this class for me have to do with hiring. One of the first things that Dr. Blair said had to do with anticipating vacancies early and interviewing for those early, and that's something that hadn't occurred to me. Obviously, I knew earlier was better, but I didn't think about anticipating vacancies. I thought about only responding to vacancies. So I thought that was a very important point that he made. Another thing that Dr. Kaiser talked about in her talk was about making sure that the beliefs of the applicant match the mission and vision of your division and school, and that they do that through screening interviews. I think that that's great for screening interviews, and I would certainly hope to do that in any interviews that I had inside the building as well. I also had never really thought specifically about the fact that every hire needs to be not only a cultural fit for the division and a cultural fit for the school, but also a specific team fit for whatever role that they might be filling, whether it's a grade level team or a department. So that's something else that I've taken away. And then, of course, it's always been on my mind, but I've been thinking about it more since hearing Dr. Kaiser speak about the plan over the course of the next 5 to 10 years to try to have the demographics of our teachers mirror the demographics of our students. I hadn't really appreciated what a long-term, long-range goal that is, and that's something that I've taken away from listening to her speak. My third takeaway from our class has to do with how you retain high-quality staff. And I remember Dr. Blair talking about things like salary and also reimbursement for classes and relocation. So certainly anytime that I could be part of a division that offers those types of pecuniary rewards, I would certainly think that that's a good way to retain people. But I also have written down as a quote, and I believe it was Dr. Blair, but it might have been you, Dr. Collins, who said that you need to treat people well. Sounds like something either one of you would have said. And as I think about that, there are several things that I think fall under that. And one of those is that when they're hired, I would want to get them connected and supported within the school as quickly as possible, be that through instructional coaching or mentor teaching. I would also make sure that they're connected to people on their team or in their grade level within the department. I wouldn't want to just drop them in and expect them to thrive without any sort of assistance from the admin team and from department leadership to help integrate them into the school. The second thing when I think about treating people well has to do with professional learning. I know that the school divisions where I have wanted to stay and haven't chosen to leave have offered the richest and most robust professional learning that have helped me to grow as a professional. And also divisions where I'm just allowed to teach. There's not anything overly programmatic, certainly structure and certainly based on standards, but not anything scripted or in lockstep. All of those things, I think, are the way that I would work to retain staff as an assistant principal or principal. My fourth takeaway is to provide high-quality professional learning in order to not only retain people, but also to manage change. And the thing that I most enjoyed about Dr. Almarode's time with us was talking about how instructional strategies are really the thing to focus on, and that the rest of it might be really nice window dressing, but really what we have to focus on is high quality instructional strategies. All manner of things about the context don't matter as much as what an instructor does in the classroom with students. Knowing that, I would work my hardest as an administrator to separate the noise from the signal and make sure that the signal of providing high quality instruction for students is the thing that gets through in any professional learning that I provided for my staff. My final takeaway from our class is that I have a lot to learn, and specifically, about many things, but specifically about how to manage classified staff. We talked about specific scenarios having to do with time off. We talked about keeping track of hours and offering paid time off or overtime, and there's still a lot I have to learn about that. So that's something that as I move forward with my intern hours that I will seek to learn more about. Dr. Collins, thank you for such a wonderful class. There was so much that I enjoyed about it, all the discussion based and really relevant readings and, the fun Kahoots too. So thank you for all of the things that I learned and thank you for all the questions I'm still asking.